Biden ends experience with U.S. Saudi family members at the men but few different wins Jeddah. Saudi Arabia President Joe Biden and Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman took a step to mending their afflicted dating with a fist bump, but the U.S. leader left the kingdom on Saturday with few massive successes and doubts as to whether or not the visit was well worth it. Biden's four-day trip to Israel and Saudi Arabia, his first to the Middle East as president, aimed to reset ties with the Gulf Arab oil large, reveal U.S. commitment to the vicinity and counter the rising influence of Iran, Russia and China. But thorny optics overshadowed the Saudi leg as Biden prevented acting to embrace a crown prince implicated by way of U.S. intelligence within the brutal 2018 murder of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi, a rate Saudi authorities deny. Biden mentioned he confronted Prince Mohammed, referred to as MBS, over the killing. MBS remained unbowed, telling Biden the USA had additionally made errors. Though Biden left the Middle East without securing a right-of-way pledge by Saudi Arabia to boost oil output or public support for U.S. efforts for a regional safety axis that might include Israel, the journey changed into now not a wash. Biden's fist bump with Prince Mohammed in front of the royal palace in Jeddah will serve as the defining picture of the trip, however it turned into months within the making. White House officials had been divided over rewarding MBS with a visit and agonized over how it'd look. In the cease, they decided that retaining strategic ties with Saudi Arabia, which have weathered 80 years, turned into critical for U.S. pastimes and could assist the two sides flip the web page. Riyadh took numerous important steps to pave a path for the go-to, such as backing a UN-brokered truce inside the Yemen war, a massive victory for Biden, who pulled U.S. guide for Saudi-led offensive operations. It also helped accelerate already approved boosts in oil production through OPEC+. The summit of the 9 Arab leaders is a clean accomplishment, as is the backing for the truce in Yemen. But those accomplishments have come at the value of the fist bump, mentioned Bruce Riedel, a overseas coverage fellow on the Brookings Institution. Biden got here to Saudi Arabia hoping to convince the OPEC heavyweight to enhance oil manufacturing. However, the kingdom held company on its method that it should perform within the framework of the OPEC Plus alliance, which includes Russia, and not act unilaterally. High gas prices have fueled a surge in inflation within the United States and globally, dragging down Biden's poll numbers as he heads into vital congressional elections in November. However, White House officials are confident their diplomatic efforts will help form the communication while OPEC Plus contributors maintain their subsequent meeting. All eyes are at the August 3 OPEC Plus meeting. If the Saudis and the UAE want to elevate output, they'll do it through OPEC+. But we ought to hold in mind the call for image is softening. I'm now not positive those nations are convinced the marketplace desires more crude supply, mentioned Ben Cahill, and strength analyst at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Israel-Saudi relations. The trip saw a small warming of relations among Saudi Arabia and Israel after Riyadh said it might open its airspace to all scheduled carriers, paving the manner for more overflights to and from Israel. There was additionally a U.S. brokered deal among Israel, Egypt and Saudi Arabia underneath which a small U.S.-led worldwide peacekeeping contingent could seize the strategic island of Tehran, control of which becomes ceded to Riyadh via Cairo in 2017. The United States and Israel desire the one's movements, and the summit could assist build momentum towards Israel's further integration into the area, together with Saudi Arabia. But the Saudi overseas minister poured bloodless water over any forthcoming normalization with Israel, announcing this become now not a precursor to further steps. He mentioned Riyadh changed into now not a part of any discussions on a Gulf-Israeli defense alliance to counter Iran. On Thursday, the U.S. and Israel signed a joint pledge on Thursday to deny nuclear arms to Iran, a show of team spirit with the aid of allies lengthy divided over diplomacy with Tehran. The announcement turned into a part of Biden's efforts to rally regional allies around U.S. efforts to revive a 2015 nuclear page circa with Iran. Saudi Arabia and Israel have been no longer satisfied with the original nuclear deal brokered by means of former President Barack Obama's management and celebrated whilst Biden's predecessor, Donald Trump, give up the percent. Now, Biden is asking for endurance, assuring them that the USA is willing to use force as a remaining hotel if talks fail and Iran keeps what the West believes is an application to broaden nuclear weapons.